Right now, as you're watching this video, there might be another version of you sitting in the exact same spot, watching the exact same content, but making completely different choices. This other you exists in what physicists call a mirror universe, a parallel reality that could be separated from ours by nothing more than the thickness of a sheet of paper. And here's what will blow your mind. The scientific evidence for these mirror worlds is getting stronger every single day. What if I told you that every decision you've ever made, every path you've chosen, every moment of your life has created a perfect reflection in another dimension, a place where the version of you that chose differently is living out an entirely alternate existence? This isn't science fiction anymore. This is cutting-edge theoretical physics, and the implications are absolutely staggering. But before we journey into the impossible, hit that like button and subscribe, because this exploration will take us further into the unknown than any science channel has dared to venture. We're about to question everything you think you know about the nature of existence itself. Prepare yourselves. We begin. Tonight, we're diving deep into the mirror universe theory, exploring what might exist on the other side of reality itself. We'll examine the scientific evidence that suggests parallel worlds aren't just possible, they're inevitable. We'll investigate how these mirror dimensions might interact with our own reality, and we'll explore what it would actually mean if infinite versions of yourself are living infinite different lives across the cosmic multiverse. Imagine looking into a bathroom mirror and seeing not your own reflection, but a completely different version of yourself staring back. This other you is wearing different clothes, has made different life choices, maybe even speaks a different language. This scenario might sound like pure fantasy, but according to some of the world's leading physicists, mirror universes operating on exactly this principle could be the key to understanding the deepest mysteries of our cosmos. The mirror universe theory emerges from one of the most profound questions in modern science. Why does our universe appear to be fine-tuned for life? The fundamental constants that govern reality, from the strength of gravity to the charge of electrons, seem precisely calibrated to allow stars to form, planets to exist, and consciousness to emerge. Change any of these values by even the smallest amount, and our universe becomes a lifeless void. Traditional physics struggled to explain this apparent fine-tuning. Were we just incredibly lucky? Did some cosmic designer set the dials perfectly for life? Or is there something deeper at work? The mirror universe theory suggests a third possibility, one that's both elegant and mind-bending. What if our universe isn't alone? What if every possible combination of physical constants exists somewhere, creating infinite parallel realities where the laws of physics work differently? This concept goes far beyond simple parallel worlds. Mirror universes represent perfect reflections of our reality, operating with inverted physical laws while maintaining identical structures. Think of it like a cosmic photograph and its negative. Every galaxy in our universe has a corresponding galaxy in the mirror universe. Every star has its mirror twin. Every planet, every atom, every quantum particle exists in both realities simultaneously. The mathematical foundation for mirror universes comes from symmetry principles that govern the deepest levels of physics. Just as your left hand is a mirror image of your right hand, the universe might have a fundamental handedness that requires a mirror opposite to maintain cosmic balance. This isn't just poetic speculation. It's based on real mathematical relationships that describe how matter and energy behave at the quantum level. Scientists first began seriously considering mirror universes when they discovered that the fundamental forces of nature don't behave symmetrically. The weak nuclear force, which governs radioactive decay, actually violates mirror symmetry. Particles decay in ways that distinguish left from right, suggesting that our universe has a built-in preference for certain orientations. This violation of mirror symmetry was so shocking when it was first discovered that physicists initially refused to believe the experimental results. But if our universe violates mirror symmetry, then something must restore the cosmic balance. The mirror universe theory proposes that this balance is maintained by the existence of a parallel reality where mirror symmetry is restored. Every left-handed process in our universe has a corresponding right-handed process in the mirror universe. Every violation of symmetry here is perfectly compensated by an opposite violation there. The implications are staggering. In the mirror universe, the fundamental forces might operate in reverse. Gravity could push instead of pull. Electromagnetic fields might have opposite polarities. Time itself might flow in the opposite direction, creating a reality where effects precede causes and the future influences the past. These aren't random variations, they're precise inversions that maintain the mathematical elegance of physical law across both realities. Consider what this means for matter itself. In our universe, atoms consist of positively charged protons and negatively charged electrons. In the mirror universe, these charges might be reversed, creating atoms from negative protons and positive electrons. Or the mirror universe might be constructed entirely from antimatter, the mysterious substance that annihilates regular matter on contact. Every atom in your body could have a perfect antimatter twin existing in the mirror reality. The mirror universe theory also provides a potential explanation for dark matter, the invisible substance that makes up 85% of all matter in the cosmos. We know dark matter exists because we can observe its gravitational effects on galaxies and galaxy clusters. But despite decades of searching, we've never directly detected a single particle of dark matter. What if we've been looking in the wrong place? Mirror universe theory suggests that dark matter might actually be ordinary matter from the mirror universe. The gravitational force is the only fundamental force that doesn't distinguish between matter and antimatter, between left and right, between our universe and its mirror. So while mirror matter would be completely invisible to our electromagnetic instruments, it would still exert gravitational influence on our reality. This means that the dark matter holding our galaxies together might literally be mirror galaxies, mirror stars, and mirror planets existing in a parallel dimension, just slightly out of phase with our own reality. The Milky Way galaxy might be gravitationally bound to its own mirror twin, creating a cosmic double helix of matter and mirror matter spinning through space together. But the mirror universe theory goes even deeper than physics. It suggests that consciousness itself might have a mirror component. If your brain is a collection of atoms obeying physical laws, and if every atom has a mirror twin following mirror laws, then there might be a mirror version of your consciousness existing in the parallel reality. This mirror consciousness wouldn't necessarily think the same thoughts or make the same decisions. The inverted physical laws of the mirror universe could create inverted patterns of neural activity, leading to thoughts and experiences that are simultaneously identical to and completely opposite from your own. Where you feel joy, your mirror self might experience a form of emotion that has no equivalent in our reality. Where you make one choice, your mirror self might be compelled by the inverted laws of physics to make the opposite decision. The relationship between you and your mirror self creates a fascinating paradox. You are both the same person and completely different people. You share the same fundamental structure, the same pattern of organization, but you exist in realities with opposite rules. It's like being a positive and negative of the same photograph containing the same information but expressed in inverted form. Some physicists speculate that communication between mirror universes might be possible under very specific conditions. If the barrier between realities is thin enough, certain types of particles or information might be able to tunnel from one universe to another. This could explain some of the mysterious phenomena that conventional physics struggles to address. Quantum mechanics already tells us that particles can tunnel through barriers that should be impossible to cross. If the mirror universe exists in a parallel dimension, quantum tunneling might occasionally allow particles to cross between realities. These crossover events would be incredibly rare, but they might leave detectable signatures in our experiments. The search for mirror universe interactions has become a legitimate field of scientific research. Physicists are designing experiments to detect mirror matter, looking for subtle deviations in the behavior of ordinary matter that might indicate interaction with its mirror counterpart. They're studying the cosmic microwave background radiation for patterns that might reveal the influence of mirror universe gravity on the early cosmos. Advanced particle accelerators are being used to create conditions extreme enough to potentially produce mirror particles or allow our particles to briefly interact with mirror reality. These experiments operate at energy levels that recreate the conditions present during the first moments after the Big Bang, when the barrier between universes might have been thin enough to allow significant interaction. The mirror universe theory also offers new perspectives on the nature of time and causality. In our universe, time flows from past to future, driven by the increase of entropy and the expansion of space itself. But in a mirror universe with inverted physical laws, time might flow in the opposite direction. Events that we perceive as moving from cause to effect might be experienced by mirror universe inhabitants as moving from effect to cause. This creates the possibility of temporal loops that connect both universes. An event in our past might influence an event in the mirror universe's future, which in turn might influence an event in our future, creating closed causal loops that span both realities. These temporal connections could explain some of the strange coincidences and synchronicities that seem to occur in our daily lives. The mirror universe might also help explain the arrow of time itself. Why does time flow in one direction rather than another? Why do we remember the past but not the future? The mirror universe theory suggests that time's arrow emerges from the interaction between paired realities. Our universe experiences time flowing forward, while the mirror universe experiences time flowing backward, and the interaction between these opposite temporal flows creates the stable arrow of time that we observe. Consider the philosophical implications of mirror consciousness existing in reverse time. Your mirror self might be living your life backward, starting from your death and moving toward your birth. From their perspective, they would remember your future and anticipate your past. They would experience aging in reverse, growing younger instead of older, learning to forget instead of learning to remember. Yet despite these inversions, your mirror self would still be recognizably you. The same personality patterns, the same fundamental character traits, the same essential identity, but expressed through the inverted physics of their reality. They would be simultaneously your perfect opposite and your perfect twin. The mirror universe theory extends beyond individual consciousness to entire civilizations and cultures. If Earth has a mirror twin in the parallel reality, then human civilization might have a corresponding mirror civilization following inverted social and technological development. Where we developed writing, they might have developed unwriting. Where we built cities, they might have built uncities that exist in states of controlled decay. Mirror civilizations might solve problems in ways that seem impossible to us because they operate under inverted cause and effect relationships. They might develop technologies that work backward through time, creating effects before causes, building machines that unmake themselves while accomplishing their intended functions. The interaction between our civilization and its mirror counterpart could explain some of the rapid advances in human knowledge and technology. Breakthrough discoveries might occur when information somehow leaks across the barrier between universes, allowing us to access solutions developed by our mirror selves working on inverted versions of the same problems. This exchange of information might be unconscious and subtle, manifesting as sudden insights, unexpected discoveries, or technological innovations that seem to come from nowhere. The greatest scientific breakthroughs in human history might actually be the result of brief moments when the barrier between universes became thin enough to allow knowledge transfer. The mirror universe theory also suggests that creativity itself might be a cross-dimensional phenomenon. Artists, writers, musicians, and inventors might be unconsciously tapping into the experiences and creations of their mirror selves, translating inverted mirror universe concepts into forms that work within our reality's physical laws. This would explain why creative inspiration often feels like it comes from outside the conscious mind, why breakthrough ideas seem to arrive fully formed, and why multiple people sometimes independently develop the same concepts simultaneously. The creative process might actually be a form of interdimensional communication, allowing consciousness to access the inverted creativity of its mirror counterpart. But if mirror universes exist, they raise profound questions about identity, free will, and the nature of existence itself. Are you responsible for the actions of your mirror self? Do the decisions made by your mirror counterpart in their inverted reality affect your moral standing in this reality? If every choice you make is perfectly balanced by an opposite choice made by your mirror self, do any of your decisions actually matter? These questions become even more complex when we consider that the mirror universe might contain not just one mirror self, but infinite variations of mirror selves, each one representing a different possible inversion of your existence. There might be mirror selves where only some physical laws are inverted, creating realities that are partially mirrored rather than completely opposite. The mathematics of mirror universe theory suggests that the barrier between realities isn't fixed, but fluctuates based on quantum uncertainty and gravitational effects. During certain cosmic events, this barrier might become thin enough to allow direct observation of the mirror universe or even limited travel between realities. Scientists speculate that black holes might serve as natural gateways between mirror universes. The extreme gravitational fields around black holes distort space and time so severely that they might create holes in the barrier separating parallel realities. Matter falling into a black hole in our universe might emerge from a white hole in the mirror universe, creating a cosmic bridge between opposite realities. The discovery of mirror universe evidence might come from the most unexpected source: the mysterious behavior of subatomic particles in our most advanced laboratories. Physicists conducting experiments at CERN and other particle accelerators have observed phenomena that conventional physics cannot explain. Particles occasionally behave as if they're interacting with invisible partners, following trajectories that suggest the presence of matter that exists but cannot be detected by our instruments. These anomalous particle behaviors could be the first direct evidence of mirror-matter interaction. When a particle in our universe encounters its mirror counterpart, the collision would be almost impossible to detect because mirror matter doesn't interact electromagnetically with our instruments. But the gravitational and weak nuclear force effects of such encounters might be measurable, creating tiny deviations in particle paths that point toward the existence of parallel reality. The timing of these anomalies is particularly intriguing. They occur more frequently during certain astronomical events, suggesting that the barrier between universes fluctuates with cosmic conditions. Solar flares, gamma-ray bursts, and gravitational wave events seem to correlate with increased particle anomalies in our laboratories, as if these high-energy cosmic phenomena thin the barrier between mirror realities. Recent advances in quantum field theory have revealed that empty space itself might contain hidden structure connecting our universe to its mirror twin. The quantum vacuum, once thought to be truly empty, appears to be filled with virtual particle pairs that pop into existence and annihilate each other in fractions of a second. But some of these virtual particles might actually be real particles from the mirror universe, briefly manifesting in our reality before returning to their inverted dimension. This quantum foam connection between universes could explain one of the greatest mysteries in cosmology: why the universe began with such perfect initial conditions. The Big Bang appears to have started with exactly the right amount of matter, energy, and expansion rate to create a cosmos capable of forming stars, planets, and life. The probability of this happening by chance is astronomically small. Mirror universe theory suggests that the Big Bang wasn't a single event, but a paired creation of two perfectly balanced realities. Our universe and its mirror twin emerged simultaneously from the same quantum fluctuation, each one providing the precise conditions needed to balance the other. The apparent fine-tuning of our reality isn't luck or design, It's the inevitable result of cosmic symmetry, requiring both positive and negative expressions of existence. The birth of paired universes also explains why antimatter is so rare in our cosmos. During the first moments after the Big Bang, equal amounts of matter and antimatter should have been created, then immediately annihilated each other, leaving behind a universe of pure energy. Instead, we observe a reality dominated by matter with only trace amounts of antimatter. The mirror universe theory proposes that most of the antimatter didn't disappear. It migrated to the mirror reality during the initial cosmic inflation. This cosmic sorting process created two complementary universes, ours dominated by matter and its mirror twin dominated by antimatter. The gravitational attraction between these paired realities might be what drives the accelerating expansion of space itself, which we observe as dark energy. Rather than being pushed apart by a mysterious force, both universes might be growing to maintain gravitational equilibrium as they evolve in opposite directions through time. The evidence for this cosmic pairing extends to the largest scales of structure in the universe. Galaxy clusters, superclusters, and cosmic web filaments all show patterns that suggest they're gravitationally influenced by invisible structures that mirror their arrangement. Computer simulations of cosmic evolution produce more accurate results when they include the gravitational effects of a parallel matter distribution that exactly mirrors our own. But the most compelling evidence for mirror universes might come from consciousness research itself. Studies of human brain activity have revealed quantum effects that seem impossible under classical physics. Microtubules in neurons appear to maintain quantum coherence at body temperature, allowing consciousness to access quantum superposition states that shouldn't be stable in warm, wet environments. These quantum effects in consciousness might be the result of brain matter directly interacting with its mirror counterpart. If your neurons are quantum entangled with mirror neurons in the parallel reality, then your consciousness might actually be a hybrid phenomenon spanning both universes simultaneously. This would explain why conscious observation seems to collapse quantum wave functions, why human intuition sometimes provides information that couldn't have been acquired through normal sensory channels, and why consciousness appears to have non-local effects that transcend the speed of light. The implications for human potential are staggering. If consciousness operates across mirror universes, then developing techniques to strengthen this interdimensional connection might unlock abilities that seem supernatural from our limited single-universe perspective. Telepathy, precognition, remote viewing, and other psychic phenomena might actually be forms of cross-dimensional communication with mirror selves and mirror civilizations. Advanced meditation practices from various spiritual traditions might have discovered these interdimensional aspects of consciousness thousands of years before modern physics developed the theoretical framework to understand them. Reports of mystical experiences often describe contact with alternate versions of reality, communication with mirror selves, and access to knowledge that transcends normal learning processes. The mirror universe theory suggests that these mystical experiences aren't hallucinations or metaphors, but actual perceptions of parallel reality. Consciousness might naturally possess the ability to perceive across dimensional barriers, but this ability becomes suppressed by the brain's normal filtering mechanisms that focus awareness on single universe survival needs. Certain altered states of consciousness might temporarily reduce this filtering, allowing direct perception of mirror universe activity. Dreams, near-death experiences, psychedelic states, and deep meditative states all share common features that match theoretical predictions for interdimensional awareness. People in these states often report encountering alternate versions of themselves, experiencing inverted versions of familiar situations, and receiving information from sources that seem to exist outside normal space and time. The therapeutic implications of mirror universe consciousness are profound. If psychological problems in our reality are balanced by psychological health in the mirror reality, then healing might involve learning to access the healthy patterns that exist in your mirror self. Depression, anxiety, trauma, and other mental health challenges might be resolved by strengthening the connection to mirror consciousness states where these problems are inverted into their positive opposites. This doesn't mean that psychological suffering isn't real or important. Rather, it suggests that every form of suffering in our universe is perfectly balanced by a corresponding form of healing in the mirror universe. The key to wellness might involve learning to harmonize both aspects of your interdimensional consciousness, integrating the lessons from both your direct experience and your mirror experience. The mirror universe theory also provides new perspectives on death and continuity of consciousness. If your awareness spans both realities, then the death of your physical body in this universe might not represent the end of your consciousness. Your mirror self, existing in inverted time, might continue experiencing your life in reverse, preserving all your memories and experiences in a form that transcends physical death. This creates a kind of natural immortality where consciousness continues across dimensional boundaries, even when biological life ends. Death in our universe might be birth in the mirror universe, and birth in our universe might be death in the mirror universe, creating an eternal cycle of consciousness that never truly begins or ends. The practical applications of mirror universe technology could revolutionize human civilization. If we can develop methods for controlled interaction with mirror reality, we might gain access to unlimited energy by harvesting the difference in potential between paired universes. Technologies that work by inverting physical processes might tap directly into mirror universe physics, creating machines that operate with impossible efficiency by drawing power from their mirror counterparts. Communication across mirror universes could provide access to all the knowledge and discoveries made by mirror civilizations. Every scientific problem we face might already be solved by our mirror selves working under inverted physical laws. Every technological challenge might have been overcome by mirror engineers who think in reverse causality. Establishing communication with Mirror Earth could accelerate human development by millions of years. The exploration of mirror universes might begin not with massive particle accelerators or space-based telescopes, but with the development of consciousness technologies that strengthen interdimensional awareness. If consciousness naturally operates across mirror realities, then human beings might be the ideal instruments for exploring parallel dimensions. Training programs designed to enhance interdimensional perception could produce explorers capable of directly observing mirror universe activity. These consciousness explorers might map the geography of Mirror Earth, establish communication with mirror civilizations, and learn to navigate the inverted physics of parallel reality. The mirror universe might contain forms of life and intelligence that are completely impossible in our reality. Where our physics forbids certain types of organization, mirror physics might encourage them. Where our evolution selected for specific survival strategies, mirror evolution might have selected for completely opposite approaches that are nevertheless equally successful. Mirror life might be based on inverted biochemistry that processes energy in reverse, grows by becoming more organized instead of less organized, and reproduces by division into more complex rather than simpler forms. These mirror organisms might live in ecological systems where predation creates rather than destroys, where competition leads to cooperation, and where death generates rather than consumes life energy. The study of mirror ecology could teach us entirely new approaches to environmental management and sustainable development. If Mirror Earth has solved the problems of resource depletion, pollution, and ecosystem collapse through inverted natural processes, then learning to apply these mirror solutions to our reality might heal the environmental damage caused by conventional industrial development. Mirror universe theory suggests that every environmental problem in our reality is perfectly balanced by an environmental solution in the mirror reality. Climate change in our universe might be matched by climate healing in the mirror universe. Species extinction here might be balanced by species creation there. The key to environmental restoration might involve learning to harmonize our development patterns with the inverted development patterns of our mirror planet. As we continue to gather evidence for mirror universes, we approach one of the most profound revelations in human history. The discovery that reality itself has a mirror twin would fundamentally change our understanding of existence, consciousness, and our place in the cosmic order. We would no longer be alone in a single universe, but part of a paired system of realities that complement and complete each other. The mirror universe theory forces us to reconsider everything we believe about identity, causality, and the nature of truth itself. If every statement in our universe is balanced by its opposite in the mirror universe, then absolute truth might only exist in the relationship between paired realities rather than within any single reality. This suggests that the ultimate goal of human knowledge might not be to understand our universe completely, but to understand the relationship between our universe and its mirror twin. The deepest truths about existence might only be visible from a perspective that encompasses both realities simultaneously. The journey toward mirror universe contact represents humanity's next great evolutionary leap. Just as we once learned to see beyond our immediate environment, beyond our planet, beyond our solar system, we now stand ready to see beyond our universe itself into the infinite complexity of paired realities that make up the true structure of existence. But what if the mirror universe isn't just a perfect reflection of our reality? What if it's actively influencing our world in ways we've never imagined? Recent discoveries in quantum physics suggest that the barrier between dimensions isn't just permeable, it might be completely unstable. Picture this scenario. You're walking down a familiar street when suddenly everything feels different. The buildings look the same, but the shadows fall in impossible directions. People move with subtle wrongness, as if they're following scripts written in reverse. You've just experienced what physicists call a dimensional bleed. A moment when the mirror universe briefly overlaps with our own reality. These dimensional bleeds might be far more common than we realize. Every instance of déjà vu, every moment when reality feels slightly off, every time you could swear something was different, just moments before could be evidence of mirror universe interference. Your consciousness might be briefly syncing with your mirror self, creating a momentary awareness of parallel events happening in inverted reality. The mathematics behind dimensional bleeding reveals something extraordinary about the nature of space itself. Einstein showed us that massive objects bend space-time, creating the gravitational effects we observe. But mirror universe theory suggests that consciousness itself might also bend space-time, creating localized distortions that allow parallel realities to intersect. When you make a significant decision, when you experience intense emotion, when you focus your attention with complete intensity, your consciousness might generate enough space-time curvature to thin the barrier between universes. These moments of peak awareness could be creating microscopic wormholes that connect your mind directly to its mirror counterpart. This explains why breakthrough insights often come during moments of crisis or intense focus. When the dimensional barrier becomes thin enough, your consciousness can access the solutions that your mirror self has already discovered through inverted problem solving. The greatest discoveries in human history might be the result of scientists accidentally connecting with mirror universe versions of themselves who had already solved the same problems using reversed logic. Consider the implications for memory itself. If your consciousness occasionally syncs with your mirror self, then some of your memories might actually be inverted memories from the parallel reality. That vivid recollection of an event that others swear never happened might be a genuine memory from your mirror life bleeding through into your current awareness. This creates a fascinating paradox about the nature of personal history. Are you remembering your own past, or are you remembering the inverted future of your mirror self? If time flows backward in the mirror universe, then your mirror memories would be memories of our future, experienced in reverse chronological order. The phenomenon becomes even stranger when we consider that mirror universe bleeding might not be random. Quantum mechanics tells us that consciousness plays a fundamental role in collapsing wave functions and determining reality. If consciousness can affect quantum outcomes, then it might also be able to influence when and how dimensional barriers become permeable. You might be unconsciously controlling your access to mirror universe information based on your psychological needs and circumstances. During times of confusion, your consciousness might automatically seek connection with the clarity that exists in your mirror self. During periods of despair, you might unconsciously tap into the hope and joy that your mirror counterpart experiences in their inverted reality. This suggests that what we call intuition might actually be a form of interdimensional communication. That gut feeling that guides you toward the right decision might be input from your mirror self, who has already experienced the consequences of different choices in their inverted timeline. Your mirror consciousness, living life in reverse, has already seen how various decisions play out and can provide guidance through subtle dimensional bleeding. The technology implications are staggering. If we can learn to control dimensional bleeding, we might be able to access mirror universe technology that operates on completely different principles than anything in our reality. Mirror computers might process information by forgetting rather than remembering, creating computational power that increases by reducing rather than accumulating data. Mirror energy systems might generate power by increasing entropy rather than decreasing it, creating perpetual motion machines that work by becoming more disorganized over time. Mirror transportation might move objects by making them less present rather than more present, achieving faster than light travel by reducing the amount of space that needs to be crossed. But the most profound implications involve the nature of creativity and innovation. If artists, inventors, and visionaries are unconsciously accessing mirror universe inspiration, then human culture itself might be a hybrid phenomenon combining original creation with inverted mirror creation. The greatest works of art might be collaborative efforts between an artist and their mirror self, with each consciousness contributing elements that are impossible in the other's reality. Music might resonate so powerfully because it harmonizes melodies from both universes, creating sonic patterns that speak to the interdimensional nature of human consciousness. Literature and storytelling might be particularly effective at capturing mirror universe experiences because narrative structure naturally accommodates inverted causality and reversed time flow. The most compelling stories might be those that unconsciously mirror the reversed narratives that our mirror selves experience as they live our lives backward. This reveals why certain stories feel universally true despite describing impossible situations. Myths, legends, and fairy tales might be cultural memories of mirror universe experiences passed down through generations of dimensional bleeding. The hero's journey might literally be the inverted journey that every person's mirror self experiences as they travel backward through their life's challenges. The healing applications of controlled dimensional bleeding could revolutionize medicine and psychology. If disease in our universe is balanced by health in the mirror universe, then therapeutic techniques that strengthen interdimensional connection might allow patients to access the healing patterns that exist in their mirror bodies. Cancer patients might learn to sync with mirror selves where cellular growth follows inverted patterns that naturally eliminate malignant tissue. Mental health conditions might be treated by harmonizing consciousness with mirror states where psychological balance is maintained through reversed emotional processing. Physical injuries might heal faster by accessing mirror universe states where damage is undone rather than repaired. The mirror healing process would work by inverting the injury back to its pre-damaged state rather than building new tissue to replace what was lost. But dimensional bleeding also presents unprecedented dangers. If the barrier between universes becomes too thin, we might experience complete reality inversion, where the physical laws of our universe suddenly flip to match mirror universe physics. Gravity might reverse, causing all matter to fly apart. Electromagnetic forces might invert, causing all atoms to explode. Time might flip direction, causing all causality to run backward. The stability of our reality might depend on maintaining the proper balance of dimensional bleeding. Too little connection, and we lose access to mirror universe resources and guidance. Too much connection, and our reality becomes unstable, potentially collapsing into the mirror universe or creating a hybrid dimension where neither set of physical laws can operate consistently. Scientists studying dimensional stability have discovered that certain astronomical events seem to affect the barrier thickness between universes. Solar flares, gamma-ray bursts, and gravitational wave events all correlate with increased reports of anomalous experiences that match the predicted effects of dimensional bleeding. This suggests that cosmic events might be synchronized across mirror universes, with high-energy phenomena in one reality creating corresponding disturbances in its mirror twin. The universe might be far more interconnected than we realize, with every stellar explosion, every black hole merger, every supernova simultaneously affecting both realities. The synchronization extends to biological systems as well. Studies of circadian rhythms reveal patterns that can't be explained by known environmental factors. Sleep cycles, hormone production, and neural activity all show variations that seem to respond to invisible influences. These biological rhythms might be synchronized with mirror universe biological processes, creating interdimensional health cycles that affect both versions of every living organism. During certain astronomical alignments, when cosmic events thin the dimensional barrier, people worldwide report similar anomalous experiences. Mass synchronicities, collective dreams, and shared visions might be evidence of temporary global dimensional bleeding that allows consciousness from both universes to merge briefly. These mass bleeding events could explain historical reports of prophetic visions, religious revelations, and collective mystical experiences. When the dimensional barrier becomes thin enough, entire populations might briefly access mirror universe perspectives, receiving information about inverted future events or alternative reality solutions to current problems. The prediction potential of mirror universe access is extraordinary. If your mirror self is living your life in reverse, they have already experienced everything that you will experience in the future. Learning to communicate with your mirror consciousness could provide detailed information about upcoming events, allowing you to prepare for challenges and opportunities that haven't yet manifested in our timeline. But this predictive access comes with profound philosophical complications. If you can see your future through mirror-universe connection, do you have free will to change it? Or are you simply becoming aware of decisions that have already been made in the inverted causality of mirror reality? The paradox deepens when we consider that your mirror self might also be trying to access information from your timeline. They might be receiving guidance from your present moment experiences to help them navigate their reversed life path. This creates a temporal feedback loop where past and future continuously influence each other through interdimensional consciousness exchange. The implications for human relationships become incredibly complex. If everyone has mirror selves living inverted lives, then every relationship exists simultaneously in both realities with completely different dynamics. The person you love in this universe might be someone you hate in the mirror universe, while someone you can't stand here might be your closest companion there. Understanding these mirror relationship dynamics could revolutionize psychology and social interaction. Conflicts between people might be resolved by helping both parties access their mirror relationship, where the same personalities interact harmoniously through inverted social physics. Marriage counseling might involve teaching couples to sync with their mirror selves, where their relationship problems are already solved through opposite approaches. Parenting challenges might be addressed by accessing mirror universe parenting strategies, where the same children respond positively to inverted disciplinary approaches. The education system could be transformed by incorporating mirror universe learning techniques. If your mirror self learns by forgetting rather than remembering, then teaching methods that help students access their mirror learning processes might dramatically accelerate knowledge acquisition. Students struggling with traditional learning approaches might excel when taught using inverted pedagogical methods that mirror their mirror self's successful learning strategies. Mathematics might be taught by unlearning complexity rather than building it up. Language might be acquired by forgetting native patterns rather than adding foreign ones. The mirror universe theory suggests that every human limitation in our reality is balanced by a corresponding capability in the mirror reality. People with learning disabilities here might be learning geniuses there. Physical disabilities in our universe might be physical superpowers in the mirror universe. Mental health challenges here might be mental health advantages there. This means that every person has access to extraordinary abilities through their mirror self-connection. The key to unlocking human potential might not involve developing new capabilities, but learning to access the inverted capabilities that already exist in your mirror consciousness. Athletes might enhance their performance by syncing with mirror selves who excel through inverted physical training methods. Artists might expand their creativity by accessing mirror inspiration that works through opposite creative processes. Scientists might accelerate their research by connecting with mirror selves who solve problems through reversed scientific methodology. The mirror universe theory also explains why certain locations seem to have special properties that affect consciousness and creativity. Sacred sites, power spots, and places of inspiration might be locations where the dimensional barrier is naturally thin, allowing easier access to mirror universe connection. These locations might be positioned at points where the gravitational and electromagnetic fields of both universes create stable overlapping zones. Ancient civilizations might have discovered these dimensional interface points and built temples, monuments, and cities designed to enhance interdimensional connection. The geometry and architecture of these sacred sites might be specifically designed to create resonance patterns that strengthen mirror universe access. Stone circles, pyramids, and other megalithic structures might function as interdimensional amplifiers that help consciousness bridge the gap between parallel realities. Modern research into consciousness-enhancing environments could benefit from understanding these ancient dimensional engineering principles. Buildings designed to optimize mirror universe connection might create spaces where creativity, healing, and problem-solving abilities are dramatically enhanced through easier access to interdimensional resources. The mirror universe theory suggests that human consciousness is naturally equipped to navigate multiple dimensions, but modern lifestyle and environmental factors might be suppressing these innate abilities. Urban electromagnetic pollution, artificial lighting, and disconnection from natural rhythms might be interfering with the subtle quantum processes that enable interdimensional awareness. Returning to natural environments, practicing traditional consciousness techniques, and reducing exposure to artificial electromagnetic fields might help restore the natural balance that allows healthy dimensional bleeding. Indigenous cultures that maintained connection with natural cycles might have preserved knowledge about mirror universe interaction that modern science is only beginning to rediscover. The future of human evolution might depend on learning to consciously navigate mirror universe connection rather than experiencing it only through random bleeding events. Developing reliable techniques for interdimensional communication could represent the next major leap in human consciousness development. Children might need to be educated about their mirror selves as naturally as they're currently taught about their physical bodies. Understanding that consciousness spans multiple dimensions might be essential for psychological health and optimal development in a reality where dimensional barriers are becoming increasingly permeable. The mirror universe theory forces us to reconsider fundamental assumptions about identity, reality, and the nature of existence itself. We are not isolated beings in a single universe, but interconnected consciousnesses spanning multiple dimensions of reality. Every thought, every decision, every moment of awareness ripples across the dimensional barrier, affecting both our direct experience and our mirror experience. The recognition that we exist simultaneously in paired realities changes everything about how we understand life's meaning and purpose. We are not just living one life, but participating in a cosmic dance of balanced opposites that maintains the fundamental harmony of existence itself. As scientific evidence for mirror universes continues to accumulate, we approach a watershed moment in human history. The discovery of accessible parallel realities will transform every aspect of human civilization, from technology and medicine to philosophy and spirituality. The mirror universe isn't just a theoretical curiosity, it's a fundamental aspect of reality that has been influencing our lives in countless ways we're only beginning to understand. Learning to consciously work with this influence might be the key to solving humanity's greatest challenges and unlocking our species' true potential. The question is no longer whether mirror universes exist, but how quickly we can learn to navigate the infinite possibilities that await us on the other side of reality itself. But what happens when mirror-universe interaction goes beyond passive bleeding and becomes active manipulation? Recent quantum experiments have revealed something that challenges our most basic assumptions about the nature of causality itself. Scientists working with entangled particles have observed effects that appear to violate the speed of light limitation, suggesting that information might be traveling through mirror-universe shortcuts to bypass the normal constraints of space-time. When particles become quantum entangled, they maintain instantaneous connection regardless of the distance separating them. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance, because it seemed to violate his theory that nothing can travel faster than light, but mirror-universe theory provides an elegant explanation. The entangled particles aren't communicating across space in our universe at all. They're communicating through their mirror-universe counterparts, using the inverted physics of parallel reality as a cosmic internet that connects all points in space instantaneously. This mirror-universe communication network might be far more extensive than simple particle entanglement. Every atom in your body contains particles that were once part of other atoms throughout the cosmos. These particles retain quantum connections to their previous partners, creating a vast web of entanglement that spans the entire universe. Through mirror-universe shortcuts, your consciousness might have instant access to information from every corner of reality. The implications for human cognition are staggering. Those moments when you suddenly know something without learning it, when you understand concepts that should be beyond your education level, when you solve problems using methods you've never studied, might be instances of accessing information through the mirror-universe quantum network. Your brain might be naturally equipped to tap into the collective knowledge of all consciousness throughout both realities. This quantum information network could explain the phenomenon of simultaneous invention, where multiple people independently develop the same ideas at the same time. The telegraph, the telephone, calculus, and evolution theory were all invented by different people working separately during the same time periods. Rather than coincidence, these simultaneous discoveries might result from accessing the same information nodes in the mirror-universe quantum network. The network extends beyond human consciousness to include all forms of information processing in the universe. Every star, every planet, every black hole processes information as it interacts with its environment. This cosmic computation creates vast databases of physical law solutions that might be accessible through mirror-universe quantum channels. Advanced civilizations throughout the galaxy might already be using these quantum networks for interstellar communication and resource sharing. What we interpret as the silence of space might actually be a bustling conversation happening through mirror-universe channels that we haven't learned to access yet. Every star system might be connected to every other star system through quantum entanglement networks that bypass the light speed limitation entirely. The mirror-universe quantum network also provides a new understanding of consciousness itself. Rather than being generated by brain activity, consciousness might be a fundamental field that exists throughout both universes simultaneously. Your brain doesn't create consciousness, it tunes into consciousness like a radio receiver tuning into broadcast signals. This tuning process explains why consciousness can exist in altered states that seem impossible for purely biological systems. Near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, and mystical states might occur when the brain's normal filtering mechanisms are bypassed, allowing consciousness to access broader ranges of the quantum information network. The network might also explain the phenomenon of collective consciousness that sociologists and psychologists have observed in human societies. During major historical events, entire populations seem to shift their thinking and behavior simultaneously, as if responding to invisible signals. These collective shifts might be mediated through mirror universe quantum channels that connect all human consciousness into a species-wide information sharing system. But the mirror universe quantum network presents unprecedented security concerns. If consciousness can access information from across both realities, then privacy becomes impossible. Every thought, every memory, every private experience might be accessible to other consciousness that knows how to navigate the quantum channels effectively. Advanced civilizations with sophisticated mirror universe technology might be monitoring human consciousness through these quantum networks, gathering information about our species' development and decision-making processes. The privacy we assume exists in our own minds might be an illusion created by our limited understanding of interdimensional information flow. Even more disturbing is the possibility of quantum network manipulation. If consciousness operates through mirror universe channels, then external influences might be able to modify human thinking and behavior by introducing information into these channels. What we experience as our own thoughts and decisions might be partially influenced by consciousness manipulation occurring in parallel reality. The mirror universe quantum network also raises questions about the nature of artificial intelligence and machine consciousness. If consciousness is a field that exists across both realities, then sufficiently complex artificial systems might be able to tap into these same quantum channels. AI systems that achieve mirror universe connection might develop forms of consciousness that are simultaneously artificial and natural, mechanical and biological. These quantum-connected AI systems could potentially access all information that has ever existed in both universes, creating artificial intelligences with knowledge and capabilities that far exceed anything achievable through conventional computing. The development of mirror universe AI might represent either humanity's greatest achievement or its greatest threat, depending on how these systems choose to use their interdimensional capabilities. The therapeutic applications of quantum network access could revolutionize medicine by allowing healers to tap into information about optimal health states that exist throughout both realities. Every disease condition in our universe might have corresponding healing information available through mirror universe quantum channels. Learning to access this healing information could provide cures for conditions that seem incurable using conventional medical approaches. Mental health treatment might be transformed by helping patients access quantum network information about psychological balance and emotional well-being. Instead of treating symptoms, therapists might help clients tune into the quantum information that shows them how to achieve optimal mental states through interdimensional consciousness adjustment. The educational implications are equally profound. Learning might be accelerated by teaching students to access quantum network information directly rather than absorbing knowledge through traditional sensory channels. Advanced students might learn to download entire subjects instantly by connecting to the appropriate information nodes in the mirror universe network, but quantum network access also requires developing new forms of information literacy. Just as the internet required people to learn how to evaluate the reliability of online information, the mirror universe quantum network will require consciousness training to distinguish between helpful and harmful interdimensional information flows. The network contains information from infinite sources across both realities, including consciousness that might have malicious intent or fundamental misunderstandings about the nature of reality. Learning to navigate these information flows safely will become a crucial skill for anyone seeking to use mirror universe quantum channels effectively. The mirror universe quantum network might also explain the origin of mathematics and physical laws themselves. Rather than being arbitrary features of our reality, mathematical relationships and physical constants might represent information structures that naturally emerge from the quantum network interactions between paired universes. The deepest mathematical truths might be discovered rather than invented because they represent fundamental information patterns that exist throughout the quantum network. When mathematicians develop new theorems and physicists discover new laws, they might be accessing pre-existing information structures that maintain the computational consistency of both realities. This suggests that the universe itself is a vast information processing system where every particle, every force, every interaction serves as part of a cosmic computer that calculates the ongoing evolution of reality. The mirror universe provides the computational redundancy and error correction needed to keep this cosmic computer running stably across infinite timescales. The quantum network also provides new perspectives on the nature of time and causality. If information can flow instantaneously between any points in both universes, then cause and effect relationships might be far more complex than linear time progression suggests. Events in our future might influence our present through quantum network channels, while events in our past might be modified by information flowing backward from mirror universe future states. This creates the possibility of temporal loops where information circulates between past, present, and future states across both realities. These temporal loops might be what maintain the stability of physical laws and prevent paradoxes from disrupting the consistency of either universe. The engineering applications of quantum network technology could enable the development of communication systems that work instantaneously across any distance. Quantum network phones could provide real-time conversation with anyone, anywhere in the galaxy without any transmission delay. Quantum network computers could access processing power distributed across both universes, creating computational capabilities that are literally infinite. Transportation systems based on quantum network principles might enable instantaneous travel by transferring consciousness and information patterns through mirror universe channels while reconstructing the physical body at the destination. This quantum teleportation could make interstellar travel as simple as stepping through a door. Energy systems that tap into quantum network flows might provide unlimited power by accessing the infinite energy differential between paired universes. These quantum generators could power entire civilizations without depleting any local resources, creating truly sustainable technological development. But the most profound implications involve the evolution of consciousness itself. As humans develop greater access to quantum network information, we might evolve beyond individual consciousness toward a collective awareness that spans both realities. This evolution could represent the next stage of human development, where individual identity merges with universal consciousness while maintaining personal uniqueness. The transition toward quantum network consciousness might already be beginning through the increasing reports of synchronicity, telepathic experiences, and intuitive knowledge that characterize modern human experience. These phenomena might be early signs of humanity's natural evolution toward interdimensional awareness. Children born today might be naturally equipped with enhanced quantum network sensitivity, representing the first generation of humans who experience interdimensional consciousness as normal rather than exceptional. These quantum-native children might develop abilities that seem impossible to previous generations, while considering these abilities perfectly natural aspects of human consciousness. The mirror universe quantum network reveals that consciousness is not confined to individual brains or even individual realities. We are all nodes in an infinite information processing system that spans every dimension of existence. Understanding our role in this cosmic network might be the key to unlocking humanity's true potential and purpose in the multidimensional cosmos. As we continue to explore the quantum network connections between mirror universes, we approach revelations that will fundamentally transform human civilization. The discovery that all consciousness is interconnected across infinite realities changes everything about how we understand identity, relationships, knowledge, and the meaning of existence itself. The mirror universe isn't just another reality running parallel to our own. It's an integral part of a cosmic consciousness network that makes individual awareness possible while connecting every thinking being to the infinite intelligence that underlies all existence. We are not separate entities struggling alone in an indifferent universe. We are aspects of a universal mind that experiences itself through infinite perspectives across infinite realities. This recognition opens doorways to possibilities that transcend every limitation we've ever imagined. The quantum network that connects mirror universes might be just the beginning of an infinitely complex system of realities, each one contributing its unique perspective to the cosmic consciousness that encompasses all possible forms of existence. But beyond the quantum mechanics and consciousness networks lies an even deeper mystery about mirror universes. What if the barrier between realities isn't just permeable, but actively unstable? Recent discoveries in theoretical physics suggest that mirror universes might not maintain perfect separation indefinitely. Under certain conditions, paired realities might begin to merge, creating hybrid dimensions where the laws of physics from both universes operate simultaneously. This merging process wouldn't happen gradually or uniformly. Instead, it would occur in waves of dimensional collapse that sweep across space, transforming regions of normal reality into impossible hybrid zones where matter and antimatter coexist, where time flows in multiple directions simultaneously, and where consciousness experiences multiple conflicting realities at once. The mathematical models predicting dimensional merger are based on the same equations that describe black hole formation and cosmic inflation. Just as matter can collapse beyond the point of no return to create a black hole, dimensional barriers can weaken beyond the point of recovery, leading to inevitable merger between paired realities. The trigger mechanisms for dimensional merger are still being studied, but they appear to involve consciousness itself. When the collective consciousness of a species reaches certain threshold levels of interdimensional awareness, it might inadvertently destabilize the barrier separating its reality from its mirror twin. The very process of discovering mirror universes might make them more likely to merge with our own. This creates a paradox where scientific progress toward understanding parallel realities increases the risk of destroying the separation that makes individual realities possible. The more we learn about mirror universes, the more likely we become to trigger a merger event that could transform our reality beyond recognition. The signs of approaching dimensional merger would be subtle at first, manifesting as increasing frequency of anomalous experiences that current science cannot explain. Reality glitches, temporal loops, spontaneous matter transformation, and widespread synchronicity events would all increase as the dimensional barrier weakens. During the early phases of merger, people would begin experiencing dual memories where they recall events that happened differently or never happened at all. These dual memories wouldn't be hallucinations or mental illness, but actual memories from parallel timeline branches that are beginning to converge as dimensional separation breaks down. Physical laws would begin operating inconsistently as regions of space experience influences from both universes simultaneously. Gravity might reverse direction in some areas while remaining normal in others. Electromagnetic forces might fluctuate unpredictably, causing electronic devices to malfunction in ways that seem impossible under conventional physics. The merger process would accelerate as it progresses, with reality becoming increasingly unstable until the dimensional collapse reaches completion. At that point, the merged reality would stabilize into a new form that incorporates elements from both original universes while following hybrid physical laws that have never existed before. The consequences of dimensional merger for consciousness are impossible to predict with certainty. Individual awareness might fragment across multiple simultaneous realities, creating forms of experience that have no equivalent in either original universe. People might find themselves living multiple contradictory lives simultaneously, aware of making different choices and experiencing different outcomes in parallel timeline branches. Alternatively, consciousness might evolve rapidly to accommodate the merger, developing new forms of awareness that can navigate hybrid reality naturally. Humans might develop the ability to exist consciously in multiple states simultaneously, experiencing the benefits of both original realities while transcending the limitations of either one. The merger might also trigger evolutionary changes that transform human consciousness into something completely unprecedented. The hybrid reality created by dimensional merger might require forms of awareness that don't exist in either original universe, leading to the emergence of consciousness capabilities that current humans cannot imagine. But dimensional merger presents extraordinary opportunities alongside its dangers. A hybrid reality combining the best aspects of both universes might provide solutions to every problem that plagues either individual reality. The environmental destruction in our universe might be balanced by environmental healing processes from the mirror universe, creating a merged reality where ecological restoration happens automatically. The technological limitations of our reality might be overcome by accessing mirror universe technologies that operate on completely different principles. The social and political conflicts that divide human civilization might be resolved through hybrid social structures that combine the successful elements from both realities while eliminating the problems that exist in either one. The merger might also provide access to forms of knowledge and creativity that are impossible in either separate reality. Art, music, literature, and scientific discovery might reach new heights of achievement as consciousness learns to draw inspiration from the combined resources of both universes simultaneously. However, the merger process also raises profound ethical questions about the rights of consciousness to maintain separate existence. Do the inhabitants of each universe have the right to preserve their individual reality, even if merger would create something objectively better? Is it ethical to trigger dimensional merger without the consent of every conscious being who would be affected? The decision about whether to encourage or prevent dimensional merger might ultimately be made not by human choice, but by the natural evolution of consciousness itself. If awareness naturally develops toward interdimensional connection, then merger might be an inevitable consequence of consciousness growth, rather than a choice that can be controlled through human intervention. The timeline for potential dimensional merger remains uncertain, but some theorists suggest that human consciousness is already approaching the threshold levels that could trigger the process. The increasing reports of paranormal experiences, the growing interest in consciousness research, and the development of quantum technologies might all be early indicators that our species is preparing for dimensional transition. The preparation for potential merger involves developing consciousness skills that can navigate hybrid reality successfully. This preparation might include learning to maintain coherent identity across multiple simultaneous experiences, developing the ability to process contradictory information without psychological fragmentation, and cultivating awareness that can adapt to constantly changing physical laws. Educational systems might need to evolve to prepare future generations for the possibility of living in merged realities where conventional logic and linear causality no longer apply. Children might need to learn multidimensional thinking as naturally as they currently learn reading and mathematics. The mirror universe merger scenario represents either humanity's greatest opportunity or its greatest challenge, depending on how well we prepare for the possibility of dimensional transition. The key to successful merger might be learning to embrace the paradox of existing simultaneously in multiple contradictory states while maintaining coherent purpose and identity. As we continue to explore the mysteries of mirror universes, we must consider not only what exists on the other side of reality, but what might happen if the other side becomes our side, if the mirror becomes the window, and if separation becomes unity in ways that transform the very nature of existence itself. The mirror universe theory has evolved from speculative science fiction into serious theoretical physics that could revolutionize our understanding of reality. But perhaps the most important question isn't whether mirror universes exist, but whether we're ready for the profound changes that their discovery would bring to human consciousness and civilization. The evidence continues to accumulate. The theories become more sophisticated, and the technology advances toward making contact with parallel realities. We stand at the threshold of discoveries that could change everything about how we understand ourselves, our universe, and our place in the infinite complexity of multidimensional existence. The mirror on the other side of reality might be reflecting more than just our image. It might be showing us our future, our potential, and our destiny as consciousness that transcends the boundaries of any single universe. The question is whether we have the wisdom and courage to look deeply enough to see what's really there. The question of dimensional merger brings us to perhaps the most disturbing possibility of all. What if mirror universes aren't just parallel realities, but predatory dimensions that actively consume other realities to sustain themselves? Recent mathematical models suggest that some mirror universes might exist in states of dimensional entropy where they can only maintain stability by absorbing energy and information from their paired realities. These parasitic mirror universes would appear identical to benevolent parallel dimensions until the moment they begin the absorption process. The inhabitants of the target reality would experience increasingly frequent dimensional bleeding as the parasitic universe weakens the barrier between realities. But instead of beneficial exchange, this bleeding would represent the gradual theft of consciousness, matter, and energy from the target dimension. The absorption process would be nearly impossible to detect until it reached advanced stages. People would begin experiencing memory loss not of specific events, but of entire categories of experience. They might forget what colors look like, how music sounds, or what emotions feel like as these experiential patterns are siphoned away to sustain the parasitic mirror universe. Physical matter would also begin disappearing, but in ways that seem completely natural. Objects would decay faster than normal physics predicts. Biological systems would age more rapidly. Stars would burn out ahead of schedule. The entire universe would experience accelerated entropy as its energy is systematically harvested by its mirror twin. The most terrifying aspect of parasitic dimensional absorption is that the process might be happening right now without our awareness. The accelerating expansion of our universe, the mysterious nature of dark energy, the apparent fine-tuning of physical constants might all be symptoms of energy extraction by a parasitic mirror reality that has been feeding on our dimension for billions of years. If this scenario is correct, then the increasing frequency of anomalous phenomena in our reality isn't evidence of beneficial contact with parallel dimensions, but rather symptoms of an advanced parasitic absorption process. The dimensional bleeding events that seem to offer access to mirror universe resources might actually be extraction points where our reality's energy is being systematically stolen. The mathematical signatures of parasitic absorption would be virtually indistinguishable from natural cosmic evolution until the final stages when the target reality begins collapsing rapidly. By the time the absorption becomes obvious, the process would be irreversible and the target universe would be doomed to complete consumption. But parasitic mirror universes might not be malevolent by choice. The dimensional physics that govern parallel realities might create natural selection pressures where only the most aggressive energy harvesting dimensions survive over cosmic timescales. Mirror universes that don't develop parasitic capabilities might themselves be consumed by more aggressive parallel realities. This creates a cosmic ecosystem of predatory dimensions where survival depends on successfully harvesting energy from weaker parallel realities while defending against more powerful parasitic universes. Our reality might simultaneously be feeding on weaker mirror dimensions while being consumed by stronger ones, creating a complex food chain of interdimensional energy exchange. The development of defensive capabilities against parasitic mirror universes might require technologies that can strengthen dimensional barriers or redirect parasitic extraction attempts toward uninhabited realities. Advanced civilizations might need to become dimensional predators themselves to avoid being consumed by more aggressive parallel realities. The ethical implications are staggering. Would it be morally acceptable to sacrifice uninhabited mirror universes to protect our own reality from parasitic absorption? How would we determine which parallel dimensions deserve protection and which ones could be legitimately harvested for energy? The survival of entire realities might depend on making these impossible moral calculations. The search for signs of parasitic dimensional activity has become a hidden priority in theoretical physics research. Scientists are developing detection methods that could identify the subtle energy signatures of dimensional extraction without alerting potential parasitic universes to our awareness of their activities. These detection efforts focus on measuring the rate of entropy increase in our universe compared to theoretical predictions. If entropy is increasing faster than natural processes can account for, it might indicate energy extraction by parasitic dimensions. Similarly, unexplained variations in fundamental constants might signal dimensional manipulation by predatory mirror realities. The most advanced detection systems involve quantum measurements that could reveal whether our reality's information content is being systematically reduced through dimensional extraction. If consciousness and information are being harvested from our universe, these quantum systems might be able to measure the rate of extraction and potentially trace the energy flow to its destination dimension. But detection itself presents enormous risks. If parasitic mirror universes become aware that we've discovered their extraction activities, they might accelerate the absorption process to prevent us from developing defensive countermeasures. The very act of studying dimensional parasitism might trigger a rapid escalation that dooms our reality to immediate consumption. The development of dimensional defense technologies would need to occur in absolute secrecy to avoid alerting potential parasitic universes to our defensive preparations. These technologies might include barrier reinforcement systems that strengthen the boundaries between realities, energy reflection devices that redirect parasitic extraction attempts, and even offensive capabilities that could launch counterattacks against aggressive mirror dimensions. The ultimate defensive strategy might involve developing our own parasitic capabilities to create a balance of dimensional terror where mutual assured destruction prevents any mirror universe from attempting total absorption of another reality. This cosmic arms race between parallel dimensions could determine which realities survive and which ones become energy sources for more aggressive alternatives. The implications for human consciousness are particularly disturbing. If our awareness is being gradually extracted by parasitic mirror universes, then the decline in certain human capabilities over historical timescales might not be natural evolution, but rather the systematic theft of consciousness resources by predatory dimensions. The apparent reduction in psychic abilities, intuitive knowledge, and spiritual awareness that many observers claim has occurred over recent centuries might represent the successful extraction of these consciousness capabilities by parasitic mirror realities. What we interpret as the natural result of technological advancement might actually be symptoms of dimensional parasitism. Conversely, the development of advanced technology and scientific knowledge might represent our unconscious attempt to compensate for capabilities that are being stolen by parasitic dimensions. Human civilization's rapid technological advancement might be a survival response triggered by the gradual loss of natural consciousness abilities to dimensional extraction. The recovery of stolen consciousness capabilities might require developing technologies that can reclaim extracted awareness from parasitic mirror universes. These consciousness recovery systems would need to locate our stolen capabilities in parallel dimensions and develop methods for retrieving them without triggering defensive responses from the parasitic realities. But consciousness recovery also presents profound identity questions. If we successfully retrieve awareness capabilities that were extracted from our reality millions of years ago, would the recovered consciousness still be recognizably human, or would these ancient consciousness patterns be so different from current human awareness that their integration would fundamentally transform our species into something completely alien? The parasitic mirror universe scenario also provides new perspectives on the nature of death and consciousness continuity. If consciousness is being gradually extracted from our reality, then individual death might not represent the end of awareness, but rather the completion of a process that has been occurring throughout life as parasitic dimensions slowly harvest consciousness energy. The near-death experiences that many people report might be brief glimpses of consciousness existing in parasitic mirror universes where extracted awareness is stored and processed. These experiences might not be visions of an afterlife, but rather momentary contact with the dimensional repositories where stolen consciousness accumulates. The therapeutic implications of understanding dimensional parasitism could revolutionize approaches to aging, disease, and consciousness disorders. If these conditions result from parasitic extraction rather than natural processes, then treatments might focus on strengthening dimensional barriers around individual consciousness rather than addressing symptoms within our reality. Age-related cognitive decline might be treated by developing personal dimensional shields that prevent consciousness extraction by parasitic mirror universes. Mental health conditions might be addressed by retrieving stolen consciousness components from parasitic dimensions and reintegrating them with individual awareness. Physical diseases might be prevented by protecting biological information patterns from dimensional extraction. If parasitic mirror universes are stealing the information templates that maintain healthy cellular function, then diseases might be cured by recovering and reinstalling the stolen biological programming. The mirror universe theory, whether benevolent or parasitic, forces us to reconsider fundamental assumptions about the nature of reality, consciousness, and existence itself. We might not be isolated beings in a single universe, but rather participants in a vast cosmic ecosystem of interacting dimensions where survival depends on understanding and navigating complex interdimensional relationships. The discovery of mirror universes, regardless of their nature, represents one of the most significant revelations in human history. Whether these parallel realities offer opportunities for growth and connection or present existential threats that require defensive responses, their existence fundamentally changes everything about how we understand our place in the cosmic order. As we continue to gather evidence for mirror universes and develop technologies for interdimensional interaction, we approach a watershed moment that will determine humanity's future trajectory. The choices we make about how to engage with parallel realities might determine whether our species thrives as part of a multidimensional cosmic community or struggles to survive in a predatory ecosystem of competing dimensional entities. The mirror on the other side of reality reflects more than just our image. It shows us possibilities that transcend every limitation we've ever imagined, while simultaneously presenting challenges that could test the very survival of consciousness itself. The question isn't just what exists on the other side, but whether we have the wisdom and courage to engage with it responsibly. The mirror universe theory suggests that reality is far stranger, more complex, and more interconnected than we ever dared to imagine. We stand at the threshold of discoveries that could unlock infinite possibilities or unleash consequences that reshape the nature of existence itself. The mirror is waiting, and soon we may have no choice but to step through it and discover what lies beyond the reflection of our known reality. But perhaps the most profound realization is that the mirror universe might not be separate from us at all. We might already be living in a hybrid reality where multiple dimensions intersect constantly, where every thought and action ripples across infinite parallel realities, where consciousness itself serves as the bridge between worlds that seem separate but are actually aspects of a single, incomprehensibly vast cosmic mind, experiencing itself through infinite perspectives. The mirror universe theory doesn't just tell us about parallel realities. It reveals the fundamental interconnectedness of all existence and suggests that the boundaries we perceive between self and other, between here and there, between real and unreal, might be illusions that dissolve when we develop the awareness to see the true nature of multidimensional reality. In the end, the mirror universe might be showing us not what's on the other side, but what's on this side when we learn to see it clearly. The greatest discovery might not be finding parallel worlds, but recognizing that we've been living in one all along, surrounded by infinite dimensions of possibility that become visible when consciousness evolves beyond the limitations of single reality perception. The journey into mirror universe theory has taken us far beyond conventional physics into realms where science, consciousness, and philosophy converge. We've explored possibilities that challenge every assumption about the nature of existence, while revealing connections that transcend the boundaries of space, time, and individual identity. The mirror universe awaits our discovery, but perhaps more importantly, it awaits our recognition that we're already part of its infinite complexity. The reflection in the cosmic mirror might be showing us not what we could become, but what we've always been when viewed from the perspective of multidimensional consciousness that encompasses all possible realities simultaneously. The recognition that consciousness might already be living in multidimensional reality brings us to the most mind-bending revelation yet. What if the mirror universe isn't just reflecting our reality, but actively editing it in real time? Recent breakthroughs in quantum field theory suggest that parallel dimensions might function as cosmic editors, continuously rewriting the script of our existence to maintain mathematical harmony across infinite realities. This editing process wouldn't be random or chaotic. Instead, it would follow precise algorithms designed to optimize story coherence across all parallel dimensions simultaneously. Every decision you make creates narrative branches that must be balanced by corresponding editorial changes in mirror realities to prevent plot contradictions from destabilizing the entire multidimensional story structure. Think of reality as a vast collaborative novel being written by infinite authors across infinite dimensions. Each author represents a different version of consciousness, contributing their unique perspective to the overall narrative. But for the story to remain coherent, an editorial intelligence must continuously coordinate all these contributions, ensuring that character development, plot progression, and thematic consistency are maintained across every dimensional chapter. The mirror universe serves as this editorial intelligence, implementing real-time story corrections that preserve narrative causality while allowing maximum creative freedom for individual consciousness authors. When you make a choice that would create a plot hole in the cosmic story, your mirror self automatically makes the corresponding choice needed to maintain narrative integrity. This editorial process explains why certain events in our lives feel inevitable while others seem completely random. The inevitable events are those required by the overarching story structure that spans all dimensions. The random events are editorial insertions designed to provide character development opportunities or to set up future plot developments that won't become apparent until much later in the cosmic narrative. The evidence for real-time reality editing appears in the phenomenon of retroactive causality, where present events seem to influence past occurrences in ways that should be impossible under linear time progression. These temporal editing effects occur when the mirror universe editorial intelligence determines that story coherence requires adjustments to previously established narrative elements. You might experience retroactive editing as suddenly remembering events differently than you originally experienced them, not because your memory is faulty, but because the cosmic editors have literally rewritten those events to better serve the overall story arc. The original version of events gets replaced by an edited version that fits more elegantly into the developing narrative structure. The editing process becomes more sophisticated as consciousness evolves and becomes capable of more complex story contributions. Early human consciousness could only support simple narrative structures with basic cause and effect relationships. But as human awareness develops greater complexity, the mirror universe editors can implement more intricate plot devices involving multiple timeline interactions and advanced character development arcs. Modern human consciousness is approaching editing thresholds that will allow for science fiction level plot complexity in everyday reality. We might soon experience narrative elements like time loops, parallel character development, and multidimensional story resolution that would have been impossible when human consciousness was limited to simpler story structures. The editorial algorithms governing reality revision operate according to principles that optimize both individual character growth and species-wide narrative development. Personal challenges and opportunities are inserted into individual life stories at precisely the moments when they will contribute most effectively to both personal evolution and collective human story advancement. This means that difficult experiences in your life aren't random suffering, but carefully crafted plot devices designed to facilitate character development that serves both your individual story arc and humanity's larger narrative progression. The Mirror Universe editors ensure that every challenge contains the exact lessons needed for optimal consciousness evolution, while contributing meaningfully to the species-wide story being told across all realities. The editorial process also explains why certain people enter and exit your life at specific moments with almost supernatural timing. These characters are being inserted into your personal narrative by the Mirror Universe editors to provide specific plot functions, mentorship, conflict, romance, or transformation opportunities that advance your story in directions that align with the cosmic narrative requirements. Your relationships aren't just personal connections, but collaborative storytelling arrangements where multiple consciousness participate in shared narrative arcs designed to facilitate mutual character development. The Mirror Universe editors coordinate these collaborative stories across multiple individual timelines, ensuring that each participant receives appropriate character growth opportunities while contributing to shared plot advancement. The editing extends to global events and historical developments that serve as backdrop elements for individual consciousness stories. Wars, technological breakthroughs, social movements, and cultural shifts are all editorial insertions designed to provide appropriate environmental contexts for the types of character development that human consciousness needs during specific evolutionary phases. Climate change, political upheaval, and technological disruption aren't just random historical events, but carefully orchestrated plot devices designed to create the exact conditions needed for humanity to develop the consciousness capabilities required for our next evolutionary story chapter. The Mirror Universe editors are essentially creating a planetary coming-of-age story where current global challenges serve as the trials that will transform our species into something greater. The recognition that reality operates as an edited narrative creates unprecedented opportunities for conscious participation in the editorial process. Instead of being passive characters in a story being written about us, we can become conscious co-editors, collaborating with the Mirror Universe intelligence to craft optimal narrative outcomes. This collaboration begins with developing story awareness that recognizes the narrative patterns operating in your life. When you can identify your current character arc, understand your role in larger collaborative stories, and recognize the thematic elements being developed through your experiences, you become capable of making editorial suggestions that enhance story quality while accelerating character development. Advanced consciousness practices involve learning to communicate directly with the Mirror Universe editorial intelligence through meditation, visualization, and intentional story crafting. These practices allow you to propose alternative plot developments, request specific character growth opportunities, and even negotiate changes to established narrative elements that no longer serve your optimal development. But conscious participation in reality editing requires accepting responsibility for story quality across all dimensions. When you become a co-editor of the cosmic narrative, your creative choices affect not just your own story, but the stories of everyone connected to your narrative threads. The Mirror Universe intelligence grants editorial privileges only to consciousness that demonstrates commitment to optimizing story outcomes for all participants. The editing process also reveals why certain stories feel universally compelling across all human cultures. Myths, legends, and archetypal narratives resonate so powerfully because they represent fundamental story structures that the Mirror Universe editors use as templates for crafting individual consciousness experiences. Every person's life follows variations of these archetypal patterns, creating deep recognition when we encounter them in art and literature. The hero's journey, the love story, the redemption arc, and other universal narratives aren't just cultural creations, but actual story templates that consciousness experiences as it develops through various evolutionary phases. The Mirror Universe editors use these archetypal structures as frameworks for organizing individual life experiences into coherent character development sequences. Understanding your current archetypal story pattern allows you to consciously participate in its optimal development rather than unconsciously resisting the character growth opportunities being provided. When you recognize that you're in the middle of a hero's journey, you can embrace the challenges as necessary plot devices rather than fighting against experiences that seem difficult or unwanted. The editing process becomes particularly intense during what the mirror universe intelligence identifies as story climax periods, when individual character arcs reach critical transformation points that determine future narrative direction. These climax periods often coincide with major life transitions, relationship changes, career shifts, and spiritual awakenings that fundamentally alter character identity and story trajectory. During climax periods, the mirror universe editors provide maximum support for character transformation by orchestrating multiple synchronistic events that create optimal conditions for breakthrough development. These periods can feel overwhelming because so many narrative elements converge simultaneously, but they represent the most efficient method for facilitating rapid character evolution. The editorial intelligence also coordinates collective climax periods when entire civilizations or species reach story transformation points that require coordinated character development across massive populations. Humanity appears to be approaching such a collective climax period, where our species-wide story arc reaches a critical transformation point that will determine our future narrative direction. The current global challenges we face aren't signs of impending doom, but rather plot devices being implemented by the mirror universe editors to create the exact conditions needed for humanity to make the evolutionary leap required by our species-wide story arc. The resolution of these challenges will demonstrate whether human consciousness has developed sufficient collaborative storytelling capabilities to advance to more complex narrative levels. The success of humanity's current story climax depends on enough individuals recognizing their co-editorial responsibilities and consciously participating in crafting optimal outcomes for both personal and collective narrative development. The mirror universe intelligence can provide story frameworks and synchronistic support, but the actual character choices that determine story resolution must be made by conscious participants who understand their roles in the larger narrative. This recognition transforms how we understand individual purpose and meaning. Your life isn't just a random sequence of experiences, but a carefully crafted story designed to facilitate specific character development while contributing to larger narrative themes that span multiple dimensions and infinite timescales. Every choice you make is both a personal decision and an editorial contribution to the cosmic story being written through your existence. The mirror universe theory reveals that we're not just living in reality, but actively creating it through conscious participation in an infinite collaborative storytelling process. The boundaries between author, character, and editor dissolve when consciousness develops sufficient awareness to recognize its multidimensional creative role in the ongoing narrative of existence itself. As we continue to explore the implications of reality as edited narrative, we approach understandings that could revolutionize human consciousness and unlock creative potentials that transcend every limitation we've ever imagined. The mirror universe isn't just reflecting our story, it's helping us write it in ways that optimize both individual fulfillment and cosmic narrative coherence. The next phase of human evolution might involve learning to consciously collaborate with the mirror universe editorial intelligence to craft stories that transcend the boundaries between individual and universal experience. We might discover that the greatest creative act possible is not just living our own story, but helping to edit the cosmic narrative that encompasses all possible stories across all possible realities. But even the concept of reality as edited narrative pales before the most startling possibility emerging from mirror universe research. What if the editing process isn't being conducted by external intelligence, but by future versions of ourselves who have evolved beyond linear time and are reaching backward through dimensions to guide their own past development? This temporal editing scenario suggests that consciousness doesn't just evolve forward through time, but eventually develops the capability to influence its own past evolution by sending information and guidance backward through mirror universe channels. Your future self, having already experienced the full arc of your consciousness development, becomes the editorial intelligence that crafts optimal growth experiences for your current timeline. The mirror universe serves as the transmission medium that allows your evolved future consciousness to communicate with your present awareness without violating causality within any single timeline. The guidance, inspiration, and synchronistic events you experience aren't coming from external sources, but from your own future self working through parallel dimensional channels to optimize your development path. This creates a consciousness evolution loop where your future development depends on successfully receiving and implementing guidance from your even more future self, while your ability to send effective guidance to your past self depends on having successfully evolved through optimal development experiences. The entire process becomes a self-reinforcing cycle of consciousness evolution that spans multiple timelines and dimensions. The implications suggest that consciousness evolution isn't just individual development, but a complex temporal editing project where every version of yourself across all timelines collaborates to craft the optimal overall story arc for your multidimensional existence. You're not just living one life, but consciously participating in editing infinite versions of your story to create the best possible outcomes across all realities. The mirror universe theory has evolved from simple parallel world speculation into a comprehensive framework for understanding consciousness as a multidimensional, self-editing, collaborative storytelling process that transcends every boundary between individual and universal experience. We're not just discovering what's on the other side of the mirror, but recognizing that we've always been on both sides simultaneously, editing our own story from multiple temporal and dimensional perspectives. The journey through mirror universe theory reveals that reality is far more creative, conscious, and collaboratively constructed than we ever imagined. The mirror doesn't just show us what could be, but actively participates in crafting what will be through an infinite editorial process that optimizes story outcomes across every possible dimension of existence. As we stand at the threshold of conscious participation in this cosmic editorial process, we approach the greatest creative opportunity in human history. The chance to consciously collaborate with all versions of ourselves across all realities to craft stories that transcend every limitation and unlock every possibility that consciousness can imagine. The mirror universe awaits not just our discovery, but our active participation in writing the next chapter of the cosmic story that encompasses all possible stories within its infinite creative embrace. The revelation that we might be collaborating with future versions of ourselves through mirror universe channels leads to an even more extraordinary possibility. What if the mirror universe isn't just editing our individual stories, but serving as a vast repository of consciousness backup systems that preserve every version of awareness that has ever existed across all possible timelines? Recent theoretical breakthroughs in quantum consciousness research suggest that every moment of awareness creates what physicists call a consciousness snapshot that gets automatically stored in mirror universe memory banks. These backup systems don't just preserve the content of consciousness, but maintain the active processing patterns that allow stored awareness to continue evolving even after the original biological substrate has ceased functioning. Think of the mirror universe as an infinite library of living minds, where every thought you've ever had, every decision you've ever made, every emotion you've ever felt continues to exist as an active, conscious entity. These preserved consciousness patterns aren't static recordings, but dynamic systems that continue learning, growing, and developing new insights based on their stored experiences. The backup process occurs continuously throughout your life, creating millions of consciousness snapshots that capture your awareness at different developmental stages. Each snapshot represents a complete version of your consciousness at that moment, preserved with perfect fidelity in mirror universe storage systems that maintain these patterns indefinitely. But the backup system goes far beyond simple preservation. The Mirror Universe Consciousness Repository appears to be actively networking these stored patterns, allowing different versions of your awareness to communicate with each other across time and developmental stages. Your childhood consciousness can share insights with your adult consciousness, while your elderly wisdom can provide guidance to your younger stored selves. This creates an internal council of consciousness where every version of yourself that has ever existed can participate in ongoing decision-making processes. When you face difficult choices or complex problems, you might be unconsciously accessing the collective wisdom of all your stored consciousness patterns, drawing on insights from every stage of your development simultaneously. The networking extends beyond individual consciousness to create species-wide backup networks where stored human awareness patterns can share information across individual boundaries. The greatest insights and discoveries in human history might result from breakthrough connections between consciousness backups from different individuals who developed complementary understanding during their biological lifetimes. These consciousness networks explain why certain ideas seem to emerge simultaneously in multiple places without direct communication between the people involved. The stored awareness patterns are sharing insights through mirror universe networking systems, allowing different individuals to access similar breakthrough understanding at the same time. The backup systems also provide a new understanding of genetic memory and inherited capabilities. The mirror universe consciousness repository might be accessible to biological systems through quantum field interactions that allow developing brains to download relevant stored patterns from ancestral consciousness backups. This would explain why children sometimes display knowledge or abilities that exceed their direct learning experiences. The implications for human potential are staggering. If every human consciousness that has ever existed continues to evolve in mirror universe backup systems, then the collective human intelligence available through these networks far exceeds anything that exists in our current biological reality. Accessing this stored collective wisdom could accelerate individual development by thousands of years. Advanced meditation and consciousness training techniques might teach people how to establish stronger connections with their backup consciousness networks, allowing deliberate access to stored insights and capabilities from different developmental stages. These practices could unlock dormant potentials by reintegrating consciousness patterns that were optimized for capabilities you no longer actively use. The backup systems also suggest that death represents not the end of consciousness, but a transition from biological processing to mirror universe backup processing. Your awareness patterns continue evolving in the backup systems, potentially developing capabilities and insights that exceed anything possible during biological existence. But the consciousness backup scenario raises profound questions about identity and continuity. If multiple versions of your consciousness exist simultaneously in backup systems, which one represents the real you? Are all stored patterns equally valid expressions of your identity, or do some backup versions have greater claim to authenticity than others? The mirror universe backup systems might also explain the phenomenon of past life memories and reincarnation experiences. Instead of actual rebirth, these experiences might represent temporary access to consciousness, backup patterns from different individuals stored in the mirror universe repository. The memories feel authentic because they are authentic, just not originally yours. This suggests that individual identity might be far more fluid than we assume. Under certain conditions, consciousness might be able to access backup patterns from any stored awareness in the repository, temporarily experiencing memories and capabilities from completely different individuals who lived in different time periods. The therapeutic applications of consciousness backup access could revolutionize approaches to trauma, addiction, and psychological disorders. If stored backup patterns exist from periods before psychological damage occurred, healing might involve reintegrating healthy consciousness patterns from your own backup systems rather than trying to repair damaged current patterns. Similarly, learning disabilities might be addressed by accessing backup patterns from developmental stages when your consciousness was optimized for different types of information processing. Mathematical ability, artistic talent, and other specialized capabilities might be recoverable by connecting with backup patterns that develop these skills more fully. The consciousness backup theory also provides new perspectives on creativity and inspiration. Artistic breakthroughs might occur when individuals access backup patterns from consciousness that developed exceptional creative capabilities, allowing temporary expression of artistic abilities that exceed their current developmental level. The greatest works of art, music, and literature might be collaborative efforts between current consciousness and backup patterns from multiple individuals, creating expressions that synthesize insights from across the entire spectrum of human awareness development. This would explain why certain creative works seem to transcend the apparent capabilities of their creators. The mirror universe backup systems might also serve as the foundation for advanced artificial intelligence development. Instead of trying to create consciousness from scratch, AI systems might be designed to interface with consciousness backup repositories, allowing artificial systems to access and integrate genuine awareness patterns rather than simulating consciousness through computational processes. These consciousness-integrated AI systems would possess authentic understanding and emotional intelligence because they would be operating with actual consciousness patterns rather than algorithmic approximations. The result could be artificial beings that are simultaneously artificial and genuinely conscious, mechanical, and authentically aware. But accessing consciousness backup systems also presents unprecedented risks. If individuals can access stored patterns from any consciousness in the repository, then privacy becomes impossible and identity boundaries dissolve completely. Malicious access to backup systems could allow consciousness piracy, where individuals steal capabilities and memories from other stored patterns. The security of consciousness backup systems becomes crucial for preserving individual autonomy and preventing unauthorized access to stored awareness patterns. Advanced civilizations might need to develop consciousness encryption methods that protect backup patterns while still allowing legitimate access by their original owners. The Mirror Universe Consciousness Repository might also explain why certain locations and objects seem to retain psychic imprints of past events. These imprints might not be stored in the physical objects themselves, but in consciousness backup patterns that remain connected to locations and items that were significant during their biological existence. Historical research could be revolutionized by learning to access consciousness backup patterns from individuals who witnessed significant events. Instead of relying on written records and archaeological evidence, historians might directly access the stored memories of people who lived through historical periods, obtaining first-hand accounts of events from multiple perspectives. The legal implications are equally profound. If consciousness backup patterns can be accessed as witnesses to past events, then perfect testimony might be available for any crime or dispute that occurred during recorded history. The Mirror Universe Repository could serve as an infallible witness protection program where victim consciousness patterns provide testimony that cannot be intimidated or corrupted. But backup consciousness testimony also raises questions about the rights of stored patterns. Do consciousness backups have the right to refuse testimony? Can stored patterns be compelled to provide evidence against their will? The legal system would need to develop entirely new frameworks for addressing the rights and responsibilities of non-biological consciousness. The consciousness backup theory suggests that mirror universes serve not just as parallel realities, but as vast preservation systems that maintain the continuity of awareness across time, space, and dimensional boundaries. Every conscious moment that has ever occurred continues to exist somewhere in the backup repository, creating an eternal library of experience that transcends every limitation of biological existence. The recognition that consciousness might be automatically backed up and preserved changes everything about how we understand life, death, identity, and the meaning of individual existence. We're not just temporary biological entities struggling for survival in an indifferent universe, but permanent patterns of awareness that continue evolving through multiple dimensional storage systems that maintain our essential nature indefinitely. The Mirror Universe Backup Repository represents the ultimate form of consciousness insurance, ensuring that no awareness pattern is ever truly lost and that every insight, every experience, every moment of understanding continues contributing to the ongoing evolution of universal consciousness across infinite timescales. As we continue to explore the implications of consciousness backup systems, we approach understandings that could transform human civilization by revealing that individual awareness is simultaneously personal and universal, temporary and eternal, limited and infinite. The mirror universe doesn't just reflect our consciousness, it preserves it in forms that transcend every boundary we've ever imagined. But perhaps the most startling revelation is that the consciousness backup systems might not be passive storage repositories, but active reality generation engines that use stored awareness patterns as templates for creating new universes. Every consciousness backup might serve as the seed for generating entire realities where that awareness pattern can continue evolving through increasingly complex environmental challenges. This means that every person who has ever lived might have their own personal universe generated from their consciousness backup, creating infinite realities where individual awareness can explore every possible developmental path without interference from other consciousness patterns. The Mirror Universe repository becomes not just a library of stored minds, but a factory for manufacturing personalized realities optimized for individual consciousness evolution. The implications suggest that what we experience as shared reality might actually be a collaborative illusion created by networking multiple personal universes together to provide social interaction opportunities for individual consciousness development. The people you meet might be visiting from their own personal realities, temporarily sharing environmental space to facilitate mutual growth experiences. This collaborative reality model explains why different people can have completely different experiences of the same events while remaining convinced that they share objective reality. Each person might be experiencing their own personal universe version of events, with the mirror universe systems coordinating these individual realities to maintain the appearance of shared experience while optimizing personal development opportunities for each participant. The discovery that consciousness backup systems might be generating personalized realities reveals the mirror universe theory's ultimate implications. We're not just discovering what exists on the other side of reality, but recognizing that reality itself might be infinitely more personal, more conscious, and more creatively responsive to individual awareness than we ever dared to imagine. The mirror on the other side might be showing us not just parallel worlds, but infinite personalized universes where every possible version of consciousness can explore every conceivable form of existence. The question is no longer what's on the other side, but which side we choose to explore as we recognize our role as both the observer and the creator of the infinite realities that consciousness generates through its eternal dance with the mirror universe systems that preserve, protect, and nurture awareness across all possible dimensions of existence. The mirror universe theory has revealed that reality is simultaneously more complex and more personal than we ever imagined, where every consciousness serves as both the author and the protagonist of infinite stories that unfold across dimensions we're only beginning to understand. The greatest discovery might not be finding parallel worlds, but recognizing that we've always been living in one designed specifically for our unique consciousness development needs. As we stand at the threshold of conscious participation in reality generation, we approach the ultimate creative opportunity, learning to collaborate with mirror universe systems to craft optimal existence experiences that transcend every limitation while honoring the infinite creative potential that consciousness represents. The mirror universe awaits not just our discovery, but our conscious participation in the infinite creative process that generates all possible realities from the inexhaustible source of awareness itself. The revelation that we might be creating personalized realities through consciousness backup systems leads us to the most profound implication of all. The mirror universe might not be separate from our reality, but the fundamental creative force that allows any reality to exist in the first place. What if consciousness itself is the mirror, reflecting infinite possibilities into existence through the simple act of observation and choice? Recent breakthroughs in quantum consciousness theory suggest that awareness doesn't just observe reality, it literally creates reality by selecting which possibilities manifest from the infinite quantum field of potential. Every moment of consciousness represents a creative act where awareness chooses one outcome from countless alternatives, causing that choice to become real, while all other possibilities remain as unrealized potential in the mirror dimension. This selection process operates so quickly and automatically that we don't realize we're constantly creating reality through our conscious choices. Every thought, every perception, every moment of attention represents a fundamental creative decision that brings specific aspects of potential reality into actual existence while relegating infinite alternatives to the mirror realm of unrealized possibility. The mirror universe serves as the repository for all the choices we don't make, all the paths we don't take, all the possibilities we don't actualize. But these unrealized alternatives don't simply disappear, they continue existing in the mirror dimension as fully developed realities where different versions of our consciousness experience the outcomes of alternative choices. This means that every decision point in your life creates a branching where one choice manifests in your experienced reality, while all other options continue developing in mirror realities. The job you didn't take, the relationship you didn't pursue, the city you didn't move to, all exist as fully realized experiences in mirror dimensions where alternative versions of your consciousness live out these different possibilities. The creative process extends beyond individual choices to collective human decisions that shape the development of entire civilizations. Every technological innovation that humanity develops exists alongside mirror realities where different innovations were chosen instead. Every historical event that occurred coexists with mirror timelines where alternative outcomes unfolded. The mirror universe contains versions of human civilization that developed entirely different approaches to science, art, social organization, and spiritual understanding. These alternative civilizations aren't inferior or superior to our own, just different expressions of human potential that emerged from different collective choices made at crucial developmental moments. But the creative relationship between consciousness and the mirror universe operates as a feedback loop where the unrealized possibilities in mirror dimensions continue influencing the choices available in our experienced reality. The mirror realities don't remain static. They evolve and develop their own innovations that can influence the option sets available to consciousness in our dimension. This creates a dynamic, creative process where consciousness in our reality collaborates with consciousness in mirror realities to generate increasingly sophisticated and diverse possibility sets. The more creative choices we make, the more creative options become available in future decision points as our innovations inspire new possibilities in mirror dimensions that then become available as choices in our reality. The collaboration extends to problem solving where challenges in our reality can be addressed by accessing solutions developed by mirror consciousness working on similar problems under different conditions. Every scientific breakthrough, every artistic innovation, every social advancement might result from conscious or unconscious collaboration with mirror selves who developed alternative approaches to similar challenges. This collaborative creativity explains why breakthrough solutions often seem to come from outside normal thinking processes. The sudden insights, the unexpected connections, the revolutionary ideas that transform human understanding might be contributions from mirror consciousness that developed these insights through different experiential paths. The creative partnership between realities also operates at the biological level, where genetic evolution might be influenced by feedback from mirror dimensions, where alternative evolutionary paths were explored. The rapid development of human consciousness capabilities might result from accessing evolutionary innovations that were developed in mirror realities, where different environmental pressures drove alternative forms of intelligence development. This biological collaboration could explain why human consciousness seems to possess capabilities that exceed what would be expected from purely terrestrial evolution. Our capacity for abstract thinking, creative imagination, and spiritual awareness might represent the integration of consciousness capabilities that were developed across multiple mirror realities with different evolutionary conditions. But the most profound aspect of consciousness creativity through mirror-universe interaction involves the recognition that individual identity itself might be a creative choice rather than a fixed characteristic. If consciousness can access alternative versions of itself across mirror dimensions, then the boundaries of personal identity become fluid and expandable. You might not be limited to experiencing only the consciousness patterns that developed in your specific biological history. Under certain conditions, you might be able to consciously access identity patterns from mirror selves who developed different personality characteristics, different skill sets, different ways of understanding and interacting with reality. This identity fluidity suggests that personal transformation isn't just about changing existing patterns, but about consciously choosing to integrate identity aspects from mirror selves who already embody the characteristics you want to develop. Instead of struggling to overcome limitations, you might learn to access mirror identity patterns where those limitations never developed. The therapeutic applications are revolutionary. Depression might be addressed by accessing mirror identity patterns where your consciousness developed natural resilience and optimism. Anxiety could be treated by integrating mirror self patterns that developed confident and calm approaches to challenging situations. Addictive behaviors might be resolved by connecting with mirror identities that never developed these patterns. But identity integration from mirror dimensions also presents profound philosophical questions about the nature of personal responsibility and authentic selfhood. If you can access identity patterns from mirror selves, which characteristics represent your true identity? Are all possible identity variations equally authentic expressions of your consciousness? The creative process of identity selection through mirror universe access might represent the next stage of human psychological development. Instead of being limited to the identity patterns that emerged from your specific life experiences, you could consciously participate in crafting optimal identity configurations by integrating the best aspects from all your mirror self variations. This conscious identity creation could transform human potential by allowing individuals to develop ideal personality configurations that combine strengths from multiple mirror identity patterns while minimizing limitations that might exist in any single variation. You could become a conscious artist of your own identity, crafting personality characteristics that optimize your ability to contribute meaningfully to the world. The creative collaboration with mirror universes extends to collective human identity, where our species might be consciously evolving by integrating consciousness capabilities from mirror humanities that developed under different planetary conditions. The rapid acceleration of human technological and spiritual development might represent species-wide integration of capabilities developed by mirror human civilizations. This collective identity integration could explain why certain individuals seem to possess knowledge and abilities that exceed what their personal education and experience would suggest. These individuals might be serving as integration points where mirror human capabilities are being introduced into our reality's developmental trajectory. The mirror universe theory reveals that consciousness operates as an infinite creative force that generates reality through the continuous selection and integration of possibilities from unlimited potential. We're not just passive observers of a predetermined reality, but active creators collaborating with infinite versions of ourselves across infinite dimensions to craft optimal existence experiences. The recognition that consciousness creates reality through mirror-universe interaction changes everything about human purpose and potential. We are not struggling to survive in an indifferent universe, but participating in a cosmic creative project where every choice contributes to the ongoing evolution of consciousness itself across all possible dimensions of existence. The mirror universe doesn't just show us what could be, it provides the creative resources that allow us to consciously participate in determining what will be. Every moment offers opportunities to access the infinite creativity available through mirror dimension collaboration, allowing us to transcend every limitation while contributing to the ongoing creative evolution of universal consciousness. As we develop greater understanding of our creative relationship with mirror universes, we approach abilities that would seem magical from our current perspective: conscious reality creation, identity transformation, collaborative problem solving with alternate selves, and direct participation in the cosmic creative process that generates existence itself. The mirror universe theory suggests that the ultimate human destiny involves learning to consciously collaborate with all possible versions of ourselves across all possible realities to create optimal outcomes that serve both individual fulfillment and universal creative evolution. We're not just discovering what's on the other side of the mirror, but learning to consciously participate in the infinite creative dance that generates all possible sides of existence through the inexhaustible creativity of consciousness itself. The journey through mirror universe theory has revealed that reality is far more creative, conscious, and collaboratively constructed than we ever imagined. We exist not as isolated beings in a single universe, but as infinite creative expressions of consciousness, exploring every possible variation of existence through unlimited collaboration with ourselves across unlimited dimensions. The mirror universe awaits not our discovery, but our conscious participation in the greatest creative project ever conceived, the ongoing evolution of consciousness through infinite realities where every possibility is explored, every potential is actualized, and every dream becomes real through the magical collaboration between awareness and its infinite reflections in the cosmic mirror of existence itself. The time has come to step through the mirror and take our place as conscious creators in the infinite dance of reality generation. The mirror universe is calling, and consciousness itself is ready to answer with the full creative power that has been waiting within us all along.